Welcome everyone to Haven of Horror. As always, I'm Subject. We have Robert and Noah with us, and we're here to watch the vastly superior Universal Monsters remake in the '90s, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Afterwards, we're going to be watching Bram Stoker's Dracula, so stick around for that. We're not going to have a lot of preamble because we want to just get started. We're already running late. So, does everybody have this up to timestamp 0?
Yes, sir.
I do.
Just need to turn on subtitles. No, you don't know anything about this, right?
So I know that this is just like Bram Stoker's Dracula, an attempt at being closer to the original source material. And I know that it's directed by Kenneth Branagh, and it's a little bit more divisive than the Bram Stoker's Dracula movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this will be my first time watching the movie. Outside of that, I don't really know anything about it.
All right. In three, two, one, play.
So these were both Sony movies, but I think the first one was Columbia, or the Dracula one was Columbia, and this one's TriStar for some reason,
Yeah.
even though they're both Sony. Which is just funny because, like John mentioned, these are thought of as like the big '90s Universal remakes, even though Universal didn't make them.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Frankenstein and Dracula are so one on one with Universal monsters. I think that's the only thing you can call them.
We got the author talking to us now.
Yeah, and the title's coming at you.
I forget, does Coppola's Dracula
Whoa!
open with a narration from Bram Stoker?
Does anybody else
No.
get? Did
Whoa!
anybody else feel like that was like a Star Wars musical thing?
That
Well,
felt,
it
it
looked
felt
like
very.
Superman to me.
I was gonna say it felt very Superman to me.
And now,
Come on,
now we're
John
getting
Williams. Now text.
no
Now
title
roll.
crawl. I applauded it for being different.
It broke new ground.
Somebody clipped that out of context and it's just been stuck in my head for like a week.
I love that video.
It's so good.
Yeah. This is a nitpick. I think it's weird to start with like a little Mary Shelley, like author introducing the story to you, and then the swallow text of like, oh, here's this guy going on this Arctic exposition, and I don't know, it just feels very studio. Like, we need more context for the audience. So, and here's a wall of
It's kind
text.
of
Okay, here.
reminiscent of I think it's the beginning of Bride of Frankenstein where they have that little scene with Mary Shelley at the
Mhm.
beginning, like to introduce the movie.
Yeah, for
Weird to
sure.
do it with this.
But it's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein,
Kinda.
I
kind of.
really want to know what like other movies like this would have looked like if they kept going after this.
Mhm. Phantom of the Opera would have been cool because we're kind of starved for good adaptations that at least stick closer to the book. Because
You
all
mean the
everyone
one
thinks
in
of
the
is the
early
musical.
2000s isn't
That's the musical, John.
So the other thing I know about this from its reputation is that it's like a very over the top and operatic, like kind of
Yes.
theatrical feeling
yes.
movie, which is makes sense because it's directed by Kenneth Branagh, and I think that's one of the things people take issue with. Um, I don't know. I'm open to seeing a version of this story with that
Which
tone, though.
yeah, which I don't know. I don't think I would normally like, but it worked for me here.
Yeah, the tone for this for me was kind of hit or miss. Because with Dracula, Coppola's movie, that's very operatic.
Yeah,
In a way that really works for me. This is more theater melodrama. which is fine, but it also feels like the movie never really takes a breath. It's like always at an 11.
I heard
Which
that
is one of
there's
my
a lot of
issues.
scenes of the camera spinning around.
Oh yeah, we'll count them.
Are there as
I
many
thought,
Dutch angles in this as there
And
is in Thor?
nah, he
oh,
wasn't on the
that's
Dutch angle
that's
thing
good.
yet.
That's because this isn't a comic book movie.
Right.
Um, and I don't know, as someone who's a big fan of the book, it's not necessarily the tone I picture when I read the book. Like that's a little bit of more of a kind of like slower paced, like somber kind of story. At least that's how it reads to me. Um, and I almost think like maybe Robert Eggers could have made a good adaptation
Robert
of the
Eggers would
book.
make a kick-ass adaptation of this.
But
Yeah,
I
he
just
said
want
he
him to
was.
do every Universal monster
Mhm.
movie.
He said
Okay,
he was
Nosferatu,
writing a
that's
script
all
and just he said he was writing a script and just wasn't happy with it. So he
Yeah, that's what
abandoned
I've
it,
heard.
which I mean I guess is for the best, but it's a shame because I think it'd be great.
Yeah. Let Mike Flanagan do it. Frankenstein with
Let's
Yeah,
give
monologues.
every.
he can do anything.
That's like a catchphrase on this channel at this point. Give it to Flanagan.
There are two horror directors that I trust now: Mike Flanagan and Robert Eggers.
I mean, they're the two best at this point.
No, better yet, give it to Gary Doberman.
Oh god.
Frankenstein movie that looks like
Garbage.
Salem's Lot.
Yeah, garbage.
Oh my god. Don't kill the dogs, you asshole.
All right, I hate this movie already. We open with killing dogs.
That's why Robert likes this movie so much.
Ugh.
You should have been there when we played The Last of Us 2. He's like, why aren't you killing more
Oh
dogs? And I
god.
was like, that's weird. Why do you keep encouraging me to do this?
Nah.
Now, one thing I will criticize this movie for, and we'll get to it. The monster design is really lame.
Okay,
I have a
I'm really
strong
interested.
opinion on it.
I'm interested to see how it looks. I know that De Niro plays him in this movie, and that's always um, read as like strange casting to me, as much as I like De Niro. But I'm interested to see how it plays.
It's an odd choice, but I do like him in this movie.
He's good. I wish the design was more creative.
Yeah, well, I feel like with the design, they were going for something a bit more minimalistic and realistic, which doesn't necessarily gel with a lot of the tone this movie's going for.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Robert De Niro's like, you're not putting me in a bunch of makeup.
there's still quite a bit, but this movie's like halfway trying to be more historically accurate, like a genuine period piece, and half opera, big, heightened, over the top, the way like Coppola's Dracula movie is. And Dracula goes all the way in that direction, and this is trying to have more of a middle ground, and doesn't always gel for me.
Okay.
But then there are sets like this that don't necessarily look realistic, but it does look cool. I do love this set. That staircase.
Oh my god, that staircase.
That horribly unsafe lack of railing staircase.
I love it though.
Yeah, it's great. And then oh my god, it's Bilbo Baggins.
Railings
Ian
weren't
Holmes in
invented yet.
this.
So this is stuff that kind of throws me for a loop because I'm not as familiar with Frankenstein as I am, say, Dracula, at least as far as source material goes. So I could see this being kind of jarring for people, where you're like, okay, who are all these fucking characters who apparently are all in the book? There was a
Yeah.
much bigger supporting cast of his family and friends in the book than is in most adaptations. But I also think this movie's trying to cover a lot in a really short amount of time, because we've already had multiple time skips, lots of characters, and now there's young adult Frankenstein and his mom, because we're trying to emphasize how important his mom is to him. That's going to be important to the story, but also these actors look like they're the same age, so it's weird.
Well, from what I remember, there in the book there is a lot of like backstory and information about Victor that's like kind of dumped on you when the actual story starts. So
Yeah.
it's a problem that you might actually have in the novel as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a scenario of points for accuracy, but it's like, whoa.
But I think that is where
Setting
this
up a
movie
lot.
succeeds, at least based on one viewing. I've only seen this once. Is I was latched onto Frankenstein and his family and the relationships and the characters. Whereas, and we'll see how I feel about when I rewatch Dracula. I Dracula's just like I'm just watching it. I'm not invested in anything that's happening.
Well, here's our first spinning shot. Drinking game.
Let's try spinning. That's a good trick.
Branagh is a
Actually, that's
director.
a neat trick. You fraud.
Does he say neat or does he say good?
He says
Let's
neat.
try spinning. That's a neat trick.
Does he?
Have you ever seen Star Wars?
I think I'm having a Mandela effect moment right now.
I thought that scene was pretty wizard.
No one says wizard anymore.
Boo.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Oh my god. It's like,
This is a one unbroken take of spinning. Whoa.
I'm I'm not an expert on the childbirthing process. It looks like you're doing it wrong, movie.
Yeah, it's so.
I think this is the youngest I've ever seen Elena Bonham Carter in anything.
Yeah, I'm not
Was
super
this
familiar with her outside
94?
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Be careful, you're gonna fall. You're gonna slip.
There's nowhere to. There's nowhere to hang on to.
But I think this is in the book, that the death of his mother is a big thing that motivates him.
Yes,
Kind of
if I
spurs his
remember.
obsession with.
I do need
life.
to reread the book. It's been a very long time. But so far, this is all very familiar.
Like I do like this movie. There's a lot here I think works. But my main issue just comes down to editing and pacing. This to me feels like kind of a chopped down movie that I wish was longer, and had more time to breathe.
Release the Branagh cut.
I'd like to see it. I feel like there's a 2.5 hour cut of this movie that could be really great.
Yeah.
And I know there is a work print out there that is a lot longer.
When I think this also might have been adapted into a miniseries as well, the original novel. So maybe there's more time to explore some of this stuff in that.
Yeah, I'm glad you
but
mentioned
yeah.
that, because I never really heard of it before, but there is an early 2000s miniseries that I think is like 3 hours long total that apparently got good reviews and is considered the closest adaptation of the book, even more than this movie. I know Donald Sutherland is in it. And
This is the
a
first
whole
time
bunch of
hearing.
other people.
Although to
Yeah,
be
like
fair,
Something
I
else
hadn't
I
even
no one
still
heard of
need to
talks
check
this.
about
out.
it.
I hadn't even heard of this movie until a couple years ago.
Mm.
It was on Paramount Plus with Showtime. I was like, I'll watch that. I like Frankenstein.
You mean Frankenstein?
But that's a different guy.
And the camera's spinning again. But there is a lot of gorgeous cinematography in this
This
movie.
is
I
a
do love these
great
landscapes.
4K transfer.
I bet.
This is the first time I've gotten to watch this transfer. I've discovered I like Kenneth Branagh's style a lot. It's just he doesn't have a whole lot of movies, and I'm like, I have to see this.
Mhm. I do like him as a director. I like most of his movies. He's just a guy where he'll get fixated on a thing and then just commit to it hard for that movie. This movie, it's spinning, and in Thor, it's touching.
Well, that's because spinning is a neat trick. And yes, Noah, it's a neat trick.
Okay. I guess I misremembered it. um, but yeah, John, I take it you're not like a big Shakespeare guy, just because I know that most of Branagh's filmography is just Shakespeare
Not really.
adaptations, or a lot of it
Not
is.
really.
Yeah, he's a director I need
What's
to watch more of.
why does the shot like of the mountain in the background look like the mountain from the poster of The Sound of Music?
Because it is. No, I don't know.
Oh my god, they're all gonna fucking die.
No, but what you were saying earlier between like trying to be like a realistic period piece and heightened, I think works for this because the premise itself is heightened, but you want that to be in the period piece. So I like that it's willing to take a few liberties. Which is why I don't like the Frankenstein design because it should be a little more heightened. It should be a little more of a heightened aspect. But we can never get that right outside of Universal because like the Hammer one doesn't look good either. The Hammer one looks awful. It's just like shittily applied makeup to Christopher Lee.
Is all this movie gonna be just dancing?
Stop dancing.
There's so much dancing in this movie.
And look, now they're spinning people.
Yep.
Doesn't stop at cameras.
Which, to be clear, I don't think is bad. I just think we do it a couple times too many. I mean, good God, we're only 15 minutes into this.
As you probably know, it's my 111th birthday.
Yeah, Frankenstein's getting ready to go. He has to go to Hogwarts. Oh, I forgot he directed that Artemis Fowl movie.
Yeah, that's probably his worst movie. And I've heard was just reshot and re-edited.
So I'm a big
cut
fan
down
of the
to
books,
garbage.
or at least I was as a kid. So I was like, oh, they're adapting Artemis Fowl. I never thought I'd live to see the Artemis Fowl movie, first of all.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I should watch that. And then the reviews came, I was like, oh. So I still haven't seen it, but like part of me wants to. Noah, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm just adjusting my seat. Sorry.
It's just vibing, man.
No, it's just like out of the corner of my eye. Noah's screen is like bouncing.
Hold on. I'm spinning just
Oh,
like in
God.
the movie.
Is it? Can you confirm that it is a neat trick?
It is a neat trick. It's not a good trick. It's a neat trick. Or I
George
could make
Lucas
it.
was right.
I could make it like I'm in the Thor movie.
Are you gonna make
still
that
think it's-
sound that Anthony Hopkins makes?
Hey.
Ah.
Yeah, I still think that's the best standalone Thor movie.
I mean, that's
Now,
not,
that's taking some
it's
stuff.
not even
is by-
close.
By process of elimination, yeah.
The bar is up here, but the standard is down here. I don't understand. But I really like those Murder on the Orient Express and all those that he made. I think those are all really solid films.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he made a Jack Ryan movie.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh,
It's
I
one of the
remember
ones that's
seeing ads for
fine.
that.
Yeah, it's the Chris Pine one.
I don't know.
That was
Because I've
him?
read. Yeah, apparently. Now I
Whoa.
kind of want to see it. But I've read probably half of those Jack Ryan books. and nobody in adaptation understands those books. Those are not action books. Those are political books.
Have you
Jack
seen
Ryan,
Hunt for Red October?
I have not.
Yeah,
I do
that's
want to. Jack Ryan
That's a
is not
great
a
one.
that's probably the best one.
Jack Ryan is not like a big action guy. He's a political guy. But we
Yeah,
always
and
make him an action guy.
Yeah, but movie.
well, I actually Hunt for Red October is the only one I've seen, but based on what you just said, it seems like that's the one that understands that because that's not an action-heavy movie.
Yeah.
Noah, is this whole thing in the book where they're raised as siblings?
Now I know that John liked this.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It's been a while, but I think there's something like that where they grew up together, so I don't know if they were like literally raised as siblings, but like
This movie really leans into that. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's
it's giving me PTSD from The Flash.
I think those showrunners saw this movie and were like, "That's what but we like that, more of that in our Barry and Iris relationship." It's weird.
It's so weird. I like to hear these two have chemistry, so like if they would just stop mentioning the sister thing, I could forget about it.
Yeah.
But this does remind me kind of the Hammer one, where the focus isn't really on the monster; it's on Frankenstein himself.
Mhm.
Whereas the Universal movie is much more about the monster.
Although the Hammer version is a lot less sympathetic.
No, he's just a dick.
He's straight up a villain in that. Whereas like the other versions tend to explore more of the humanity of Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Um, up against like his god complex. Well, it's the Penguin's hideout from Batman Returns.
But in a better movie.
No. Well, I don't know. I haven't finished watching this.
I like how you just are like, no, oh wait a minute, I haven't finished this.
My knee-jerk reaction is whenever you say anything bad about Batman Returns, it's just to push back. Oh, this is another cool set.
Oh yeah.
And we're spinning again.
And we're spinning.
We're spinning. Why are we so low at this guy's crotch?
Because it's cool, Noah. Oh my god, it's John Cleese staring mysteriously from the shadows.
No,
Never
I
want that.
didn't. All I saw was like from the nose down. I thought that was John Glover for a second. I was like, I don't remember him being in this.
Oh yeah, this is a clearly college-age Kenneth Branagh in a college class.
Is Thor the only movie that directs that he's not in at all?
Maybe?
That's a good question. It's got to be one of the few. Because, he likes to star in his Shakespeare movies. Of course, the like Murder on the Orient Express and those.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, of all the movies that I've seen him in, he's the main character in almost all of them.
Yeah, even that Jack Ryan movie he directed, he plays the villain.
Ooh, now I really want to see that. Even if it's bad, I'm curious.
I just remember it being fine. It didn't leave a strong
Yeah.
impression. But I was like, I like Jack Ryan. I think it's all right.
I like Chris Pine. I'd be curious to see. I've never seen Branagh play like a straight up villain. Lockhart doesn't count. That's not a villain. That's an idiot.
Science.
You
So
guys
Noah,
gonna
is
have this
this
conversation? You guys gonna have this conversation after class? You have to scream at each other in the middle of the.
Noah, is this theatrical enough for you?
Oh, it's very theatrical. Again, not exactly the tone I picture reading the book, but I mean, you get Kenneth Branagh to make this. Of
And we're
course, he's gonna
spinning
make it like
again.
that.
Yep.
And we're spinning
Okay,
again.
take a good look at this guy, this
In
jerk
the yellow?
Yes.
bully. He will pop up one more time in this movie, and I'm curious if you'll spot him, because there's a subplot with him that was cut down quite heavily,
Okay.
which I'm gonna say a lot throughout this commentary. Because that's like a setup scene, right? It's like, oh, this guy, he's kind of a dick. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably gonna go somewhere. Kind of
Nope.
does.
Never shows up again.
He kind of does.
Okay, we'll see.
But I do like Brana in this role.
Yeah, so Noah was joking earlier about how like this is clearly not a college age guy.
Yeah.
Robert, because you and I watch some of the same shows. Do you have that thing where you just don't notice at this point because you're so used to like Smallville and Buffy and
I think it depends on the piece. Where I'm just not. For me, it's only awkward like in that earlier scene with his mom, where they look like they're the same age.
yeah, like
But
when I
here, I'm
first
like,
watched
whatever.
this, I didn't even think about it. I was just like, ah.
Again, that's the problem. That is kind of a fair nitpick. Is this is a story that takes place over many years, and aside from being clean shaven in the opening, Brana looks exactly the same for the rest of this movie, which is kind of a fair nitpick.
Yeah.
That's more funny than anything. It doesn't really
Yeah,
take
yeah.
me out that much.
And here we have John Cleese as the origin of Nearly Headless Nick. See, it's all connected, John.
It is, yeah.
It's a Chamber of Secrets reunion before Chamber of Secrets.
I didn't even know John Cleese was in this.
Yeah, I didn't either until I watched it.
Well,
It's Professor
another
Waldman.
Harry Potter connection is we have Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yeah, good call.
Well, okay. Let's just back up here. Like, if you're a British actor, you were probably in one or more of the Harry Potter movies.
You were in Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings.
Or Lord of the Rings, or Doctor Who, or all three.
Or all three, in some cases.
I'm trying to think of anybody that would have been in all three. And I know second Dumbledore is in Doctor Who and Harry Potter.
Obviously, David Tennant's in Doctor Who and Harry Potter.
Now, I know Filch is in Game of Thrones, and so is Tonks.
Yeah, well, he's in Game of Thrones. He's also in Doctor Who. He's the first Doctor.
Yeah, he's the first Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays the first Doctor
in the first Doctor.
in the
is it in Capaldi's run?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't gotten there yet.
That's his last episode.
Okay.
Frankenstein, I warn you. Be warned.
Of course, a big part of the book is Frankenstein's like obsession with alchemy and like the old science, which it seems like this version understands.
Mm. Yeah, they really lean into that, and it's also amusing when he says stuff that's wrong but probably accurate to the time period. Like we may have just talked over it, but he mentions like hair still growing when you're dead, or fingernails still growing when you're a corpse, which we now know no, your fingernails don't grow, your skin just recedes as you decompose.
Which is funny because I feel like both of those things were still like correct even when I was a kid.
Yeah. Right? Like I feel like I heard that a while ago.
I remember growing up believing that your hair kept growing after you died. In fact, I don't know if I knew that was false.
But I do like John Cleese in this. Of course, most famous for Monty Python. He really disappears in this role for me. I don't know what it is with this beard and wig combo, but I just have trouble
No,
telling
I'm
that
not
that's him.
trouble recognizing him. I almost asked you earlier. Are you sure that's him?
Yeah, it's nearly
No,
him. This Nick.
I couldn't even tell that was him until he started talking.
Hmm. And even then, he's not doing his as like a robust John Cleese voice as you're used to. He's a little bit more soft spoken. But like in the James Bond movies he's in the '90s, it's like that's John Cleese. That's just what I
And that's where
think
I
of
know
him.
him best
That's
from.
kind of how
That
I
and
picture
Harry
him.
Potter, of course.
Hmm.
Until they apparently just didn't want to pay him anymore and nearly had Nick disappear.
Yeah, I guess. Monkey.
Ugh. Monkey.
Monkey. I think Branagh's working on next.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The last disturbance of Madeline Hine.
I mean, anywhere is up from Artemis Fowl.
Well, but I mean,
I won't blame him for
it's
that.
not really a
You
fair
say that
comparison.
now. He could make
That's not
something
really
worse.
a fair comparison because he's already directed 3 films since then.
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh, he made a coming of age story called Belfast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that I heard was
that was
great.
nominated for Best Picture, I think.
Yeah, and that was right after Artemis Fowl, where clearly after that he made something he wanted to make.
Yeah, and then he just back to back made those Death on the Nile and A Haunting in Venice, which I think both of those are pretty on par with each other.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good. I really regret putting Haunting in Venice on my bottom 5 a couple years ago. It was just to fill a slot.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't hate that movie. I think it's okay. It was just like I wish I had time to watch another movie or two. It was just filling a slot.
I think the second one, the one on the boat, is my favorite of them.
Interesting. Yeah, for most people that they think it's its worst one, but I don't know. I like all those movies.
I don't know. I find all 3 of those to be about equal. Like I could put on any of them and have a good time.
We're spinning again.
Yep.
Slowly this time.
Don't watch this movie on fast forward. It will give you a serious headache.
I mean, I don't sympathize with anyone that like watches movies at 2x speed on Netflix anyway. Don't do that.
Are you calling out people who watch movies on Netflix at 2 times speed?
I am, yes. Are you one of these people, John?
No, like so I can't handle watching movies on like any other speed than normal. If it's just a scene that I don't want to watch, like if I've seen the movie before, I'll just skip it. But that is very rare.
No, but this movie must be a fever dream at 2x speed.
Yeah.
No, before you lose your rental, I need you to rewatch this, but on 2x speed, just for a little while to see.
Oh yeah, well I am on YouTube. I guess I could do it.
Yeah.
Hey, what's Robert De Niro doing here with a peg leg? This is probably gonna go nowhere.
Oh my god, it's Vito Corleone.
Oh no, I don't know if I told you, but I finally saw the first Godfather.
Oh, what'd you think? That's what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, De Niro's not in that one. He's in part 2. He plays younger Marlon Brando.
I did have that unfortunate thing, which I don't have a whole lot. But
fuck.
Marlon. Oh my god. But Marlon Brando at the beginning, I've heard parodied so many times that I could not keep a straight face when he started saying the things. It's like, I know what that is.
Yeah. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
We're spinning again.
We're spinning. Just knock those intestines off.
I really like how over the top this movie is.
No, I'm vibing with it. I like it. I do see why like hardcore fans of the book wouldn't like it though.
Mhm.
Like I get it, but I don't know. I like this style.
Evil.
The evil,
Yeah, I
the
don't know what
evil Robert De Niro.
I don't, I don't know what De Niro's accent is here.
Yes. Woo!
Maybe it's
Wow,
just because
that's a
I'm
good
so
movie.
used
I
to
have found a
seeing him
cat.
play like Italian
Yay.
gangsters. But when
Oh my
he's
god, it's The Godfather.
in this setting, like De Niro in this setting is just strange to me.
He's got range though. Like he's given plenty of great performances. Like
Yeah,
Godfather and Goodfellas is kind of what he's known for. But I think his best work is something like King of Comedy.
I was
But
gonna
that's a
say King of
completely
Comedy.
different character for him.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite De Niro performances.
Still
So
gotta
good.
see it.
That's a
Ontario.
Scorsese movie I think you'd like, John. King of Comedy.
It sounds more interesting than Untitled Gangster Movie number 700.
Yeah, but I don't know.
We're bringing on a fourth member for this commentary.
Yay.
Oh, okay. Hey, it's a little kitty.
Yeah, this is the fourth member of the commentary.
Hey, this is a coincidence because my cat is here right now, but she doesn't want to be on camera.
All the cats are here.
All the cats are here.
But this is another thing, though. I could see throwing people off when this came out. He didn't know the book. Is he's got a reluctant assistant here named Henry, who's just a guy. I could see
Yeah.
people watching this who's from the book, and people going like, "But where's the Hunchback? Where's the Igor? What are we doing?"
Yeah, where's Igor? No, yeah, but Henry is a prominent character in the book, and he's like basically Victor's best friend in the book. It seems, from what I remember, pretty accurate so far.
Ew. And these women complaining.
Another aspect is in the book is that he loves Elizabeth, but he's more in love with his work than he is with personal relationships, and it seems like they're they're going with that for this movie too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also kind of this underlying love triangle thing with Elizabeth and this blonde, this other friend of theirs. That was cut down heavily. There's not
Thank
a lot of
God.
that in this version of the movie. Yeah, but I think the problem is I'm not really sure who that character. We'll get to it, but there's a lot of people in this movie.
If you can believe it, Kenneth Branagh is actually a pretty good actor.
Oh my god!
Of course. Oh, he's gonna use John Cleese.
He cut out his brain.
Brains.
He's gonna use John Cleese and his murderer.
Hey, there he is.
That's
You recognize
crazy.
him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's one of the corpses.
No, that was the last scene. So that corpse, they just chopped off his leg. That's the
the
guy who
bully.
ran into them. That's the bully.
Wow.
And you
Okay.
wouldn't know that just watching the movie.
He
That
died
was,
off screen.
Yeah.
Oh, Victor's like, I'm gonna take revenge on that one asshole that bumped into me.
But yeah, oh god. It's like, oh, we're doing this. Okay.
What the fuck? I was not expecting
It's-
this.
Right? It's the elixir of life. No, their take on like the experiments and the resurrection, all that stuff's so gross, but I kind of love it. It's not just
Yeah,
lightning and
No,
unspecified chemicals.
yeah, no, because if I remember correctly, in the book, um, it's more based in like chemicals than like the lightning and like the iconic like machinery that you see in
Mhm.
the Universal movie. Um, okay, so yeah, so it's a little bit more accurate than I was expecting so
Oh my
far.
god, that frog just
I like
It's
that
dancing.
Noah.
broke a glass.
I like that Noah's like this movie that was made with the idea of being closer to the book is closer to the book than
Okay,
I was
I
expecting.
do know that it veers off at some point, or there's a
It
specific thing
does.
that I'm thinking of later
Okay,
that we'll get to.
and I guess I should make it clear to the audience. I don't know the book at all. I have not read it. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I don't know if, because we've been kind of talking over it, I don't know if this is in the book, but there is this whole background subplot going on of this cholera epidemic that's like killing all these people in this
Yeah.
town that he's in. That'll be kind of important later. So I don't know if that's from the book, but it's also cut down heavily from what they originally shot. They just kind of keep reminding you, oh yeah, there's this cholera epidemic.
It's
I'd have
Things
to
interesting
you've
reread it.
that
forgotten.
this and Dracula are both kind of revolve around plagues.
Plagues.
And now when I hear cholera, all I can think of is Alien 3 with the new autopsy scene when she's like, check for cholera. And he's like, that hasn't been a thing in like 300 fucking years. Why? Because, she can't tell him about the chest buster. But now that's just what my brain goes to every time I hear that word.
I'm glad that that something makes you think of Alien 3.
I'm
Something
sorry
has
that
to.
something makes you think of Alien 3.
Oh.
Oh.
And this woman just won't leave him alone.
He's
He
got no
just
time
wants
for
to work.
women. Yeah. He's on a grind.
Also, this actor playing Henry, the big thing he's known for is the movie Amadeus, which I still haven't seen.
I thought he looked familiar. Yeah.
And he's also the voice of Quasimodo in the Disney Hunchback movie.
Oh, I didn't know he
That's
did
a
that
movie
too.
I haven't seen in like 20 years.
I like it.
That's a movie I haven't seen. Period.
Oh wow.
I was not a fan as a kid.
It's one of those. It's one of those Disney movies I've always heard that adults appreciate more than kids because it is one of
My
the
main
darker
thing with it is
ones.
just I liked the gargoyle designs. I don't know about them as characters, but I loved their like design, like the toys and shit.
Well, and that's the thing that most adults hate about that movie: are the
Yeah,
gargoyles.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
when it tries to be a kids
a
movie,
kids
is when
movie.
it's not as good.
No, we should
Uh,
watch party that.
We
yeah.
should. I gotta finally see it.
Mm. I didn't like Hercules as a kid either, but then I watched it a little while ago. I was like, oh, I like this movie.
I think that movie's just okay.
I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's not gonna crack a top 10, but well,
Really?
maybe a top 10, not a top 5.
What we are seeing is the conversation between a rational man and a nagging woman. Am I reading the scene right?
Yeah, you're interpreting it correctly.
No, the other thing I can't stop thinking about with this movie, and I think it's just an inherent comparison due to the similarities in the work, is Reanimator.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Because Herbert West is obviously just Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And that music is just the psycho theme.
We know, Robert.
Yeah, I mean, Reanimator obviously owes a lot to the story of Frankenstein.
Just a little bit.
Which is funny because that's also obviously in the source material, but the story is completely different. Uh,
Right, yeah, because that's also based on a Lovecraft thing.
Yeah, the Lovecraft story is just like more so about them harvesting corpses from the war.
I'm gonna have to read that at some point.
And it's
This
all
robe
from
is a choice,
yes.
I
but I love it.
just got to it.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite sequences in the movie. It's so over the top, but I think it's great.
Now, and
It's
see,
very
this is
90s.
this already strikes me as they want to keep one foot in the Universal feeling,
Hmm.
um,
Oh yeah,
because it's already screaming like the iconography of the Universal movie.
Yeah, but with a shirtless Frankenstein. Sure.
it's just guys doing stuff. I like a good montage of just doing stuff.
In fact,
Gross.
does he say it's alive in this movie?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that is a reference to the Universal movie. That's not in the
Mhm.
book.
You can't escape it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
at this
guess
point,
not.
it's so ingrained with the Frankenstein culture, or like in pop culture.
Yeah, and this
I do
imagery is very evocative.
I do love all of the like machinery and like the spinning wheels that I don't know if they actually do anything. Like
No, but that's what
I
I
do
like
love it
about it
though.
is like pseudoscience.
Yeah.
Oh, and you also get eels, electric eels. 'Cause sure, it's the
Sure, why
electro
not?
origin.
Yeah.
Wait, do you think Amazing Spider-Man 2 was influenced by this movie?
Yes.
Hey, he said the thing. It is interesting how this is purposely not really a gothic horror, whereas like the Universal one is still has some of that influence, whether it's just the black and white or the set design. This is very much maybe purposefully not a
It,
gothic
it
world.
it's kind of steampunky, and I
Yeah.
kind of like that.
No, I think that works great for Frankenstein. Which is why I would love to see what like a Creature from the Black Lagoon movie would look like with this mission statement.
Hmm.
I said it.
He said the thing again.
Oh my god.
You guys think this Dracula and the Mummy from the '90s all just make a trilogy of like movies that you can watch?
Yes.
All
Well,
very
and
different kinds of movies.
Yeah.
there's also a couple of weird forgotten ones in the 90s. There's one called Wolf with Jack Nicholson,
Oh
where
yeah,
it's a
I've
werewolf
heard of
movie,
that.
but it's just like a midlife crisis movie where like the horror stuff's really downplayed.
I've
I've heard
seen
it's
clips of that
weird.
movie. It looks really weird, yeah.
And then there's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie, but where the whole thing takes place from the perspective of the maid or something. And I've heard it
Weird.
sucks.
Okay. I don't know about that.
So no, yeah, all
Oh
three very
god.
different movies, and only one of them was made by Universal.
Yeah, the other two were Sony.
I this how do you feel about this scene?
Uh,
These slimy dudes
uh
just
they're
slipping
just
around.
slipping on each other.
Is it going for comedy? I'm not
Why
sure.
is it? Why is it
It just
edited
keeps
like
going.
this?
I think the
I don't
joke is to
know.
make it funnier.
It just keeps going.
Why are we still doing this?
This oh
I
don't
forgot
do it.
about this.
It's just a couple of dudes
You know what else it
flipping
is?
around.
You know what else it is, Robert? The shot of the monster all slimy reminds me of that scene in It's Always Sunny where Frank like covers himself with like hand sanitizer.
Yes, it's amazing.
I just want to be
Grosser
pure.
when you realize that's probably that's not water. That's that fluid he took from the mom.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
he got
elixir of
he got a
life.
lot of
Yeah.
buckets.
Yeah, they're just flipping and sliding around in that fluid. Ugh.
This is one of the over the top scenes where it's not quite clicking for me because the tone's off where it's like, what have I done? And it's so weird the way the mechanics of that scene just happened. Now he's
Yeah,
just hanging
because
there.
okay, so because in the book, the "What have I done" moment comes immediately as the monster wakes up and just like opens his eyes. He's like, "Oh God, I've made a horrible mistake," and that's the realization that he's created a monster. In this, it's just like they slip around for a moment, and then he's like, "Oh God, this was a mistake."
Yeah, slipping and sliding in that fluid was a mistake.
That was a big mistake.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like this movie wants to draw out that moment, but it maybe doesn't draw it out enough. It's just like, oh, okay, I just don't know how I'm supposed to feel about what I'm watching. But now I guess he regrets what he's done.
Oh,
Just something about
we've got
seeing
the
De Niro
mirror
swinging
zoom
dick.
in.
But this is accurate so far. Like, he doesn't try to kill the monster or like chain him up or anything. He just like goes to bed to like try to forget about it in the
Well,
book.
and what I liked in this, I'm not sure about the what have I done, but I like that he thinks it's a failure, so he just kind of gives up and goes to bed.
Yeah. Well, I guess in this, I assume that
Ah.
I think he assumes
Oh
that the
my
monster will
god!
just be chained up there and on the ceiling. Oh God, there he
So we got
is.
our first look at the monster. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to look at it more. So we just got that flash.
This sequence is
It's
a choice.
I like that he looks more of like a stitched together corpse than the universal version.
Mhm.
Because that's very much what it is in the original story.
Yeah, what was happening in that sequence?
I don't know.
I do like this big coat he's got, this kind of main costume. It reminds me of the outfit the creature has in the Van Helsing movie.
Yeah, no. When I
Um,
watched this, I was thinking a lot of Van Helsing.
mhm. But that monster design though is more over the top. Like he's very blue. He's got like all this shit going on, and it's really cool. I do like that creature. This is much more minimalistic.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how I feel about the stitches across his face. That's maybe a little, uh, I don't know, like a little too far. But I kind of get what they're doing.
Yeah, well, they're there just because you need something. So when you look at him, you're like, oh, that guy's not right. He's
Yeah,
gross. Like
because
you need
otherwise
something.
he just looks like
He's
Robert
like a
De
guy.
Niro. Yeah.
Yeah. I do wish though with the design, even though I think it's fine, I wish he had the yellow skin because he has that in the
Yeah.
book. I think
Yeah.
that would have added to what they're going for
He's also
here. And
got
is
yellow eyes too.
those horrible yellow
Yellow
eyes.
eyes. And that's
But
not
like,
something they translated. It's really just Robert De Niro with a scar on his face.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like these
the bald
people. It's
cap.
just like, oh my god, stitches! I've never seen this before. Fucking murder this guy.
Horrible. Yeah.
And again, this goes really over the top, but talk
So
about
we're at like an angry mob already. This guy
yeah.
just got created.
Oh my
What the fuck? Oh my god. He just threw that guy.
It's so good. What a day.
I love this little run.
Yeah, it's
He's
adorable.
hobbling.
Well, but okay, so one of the 80-yard lines thrown in there is somebody's like, "It's him. He's the disease carrier of the cholera." That thing we've mentioned a couple times. It's like, oh, okay, that's kind of a leap, but sure.
People
Um,
are
Like
stupid.
everyone's carrying it, right?
yeah, yeah, they're all fucked. There's just so many sequences in this where I'm like, I wish this just had more time to breathe. I feel like things constantly just escalate so quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm having fun with how over the top the movie is, but
Hmm.
there's maybe some pacing issues here and there.
I do wish in this scene the guy driving all those bodies like looked back and was like, "The fuck!" Just seeing this corpse get up and run into the woods.
Oh, he's not dead. He got better. What
Yeah,
a
but I
horrible
think
nightmare.
what a horrible night. Yeah, I
Oh
think this
Oh
god.
follows.
God.
Oh god, I think this does follow the book pretty closely, where Frankenstein's like, well, that fucked up, but just gonna forget about that and
Yeah.
move on, not think about it.
No, he's just in denial for a while. He's just like, oh yeah, I created a monster. I'm just gonna ignore it.
So
No
no,
use
I
crying
am
over spilled milk.
curious because obviously it's a big part of the Universal. Is the bride in the book or is it just the monster?
So in the book, the monster goes back to Victor Frankenstein and asks him to make a bride because he's feels so alone in the universe and everybody, rejects him. So he
Everybody
makes
betray him.
yeah, he basically forces Frankenstein to make a bride for him or else he'll like kill his whole family. Um, and then that actually ends up not happening because at the last minute Victor Frankenstein is like, "Oh, what if these things reproduce and like they wipe out humanity? I don't think I can have that happen." So he destroys his experiment on the bride. Um, but yeah, that is a thing in the book, and I know that they handle it differently in this movie, from
Mm.
what I know.
It's crazy how that's how that happens in the book, but the bride is just like synonymous with Frankenstein now.
Yeah, yeah, because the bride is a concept in the book, but she's not actually
Never
alive.
created. Yeah,
Yeah,
although
And
it
then, and
is.
then we've come full circle with like Creature Commandos, where you have the bride, but she rejects the monster in favor of the creator,
Yeah.
yeah, that whole thing's screwed up in its
which
own
is
way.
really weird when you think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. But it is cool though. I'm looking forward to doing a commentary on it at some point on the channel, or just discussing those more on the channel with Bride of Frankenstein. Probably the first like great sequel, or certainly one of the first great sequels. It's really cool that they went back to the book and pulled more elements
Yeah.
for that second movie. Because I do think of those first two movies, like if you put them together, it's like there is a lot of the book in there. If you're looking at both movies.
Yeah, it's an adaptation. They change a lot of things.
And the spinning's
Um,
back.
Yay!
Double. Imagine
Dude,
this
that's your
scene
sister.
specifically on fast forward. They're spinning, the camera's spinning.
Everyone's spinning.
This is such a weird hug. Looks like she's trying to mangle him.
It's passion.
It's forceful. Yeah, it's passion.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody's an over the top caricature in this movie.
Speaking of over the top caricatures,
Are we about
look
to
at
get the
his
blind man?
face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
What's wrong with your face?
that certainly is a scarred looking person. Alright, so this is where he finds the family.
Which again, I think is closer to the book. I don't think it's just a blind man. I think it is like a whole family.
It is a whole family, yeah. It's the father in the family is the blind one.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and that's one of my favorite sequences in the book.
Hello, Slasher Fred in the live chat, just so that these
Hello.
movies feel like that they are closer to the books. Yeah, that was certainly the intention with both of them, and at least at the time, these were considered the closest adaptations. They both arguably have had closer ones to the book since, because like we talked about up top, this movie does go in its own way and make some changes in the back half, but it's close enough, I think. At least it's my understanding.
This, by default, is still probably the closest film adaptation.
I feel like on at least on paper, going all the way back to the Universal movies, I do feel like Dracula adaptations do tend to stick closer to the book than Frankenstein, going all the way back to the Universal
Yeah. Well, and
So, well,
I think a lot of Frankenstein movies are informed mostly by the Universal movie
one.
going forward.
well, let me ask you because you said both of these have had closer adaptations. We talked about the Frankenstein miniseries. What's the closer Dracula adaptation?
I mean, I haven't seen it. Like maybe the BBC Netflix one, but I also know that goes in
I
its own weird
told
direction.
him.
I was gonna say,
But
I've heard
there's
that's not great.
now, and it doesn't come after this movie, but I know there is an older BBC miniseries that is considered like one of the
We got a
closer
lot of
ones to the book.
requests to do that when we landed on Dracula.
Yeah, I'd like to finally watch it at some point. And then now we have the new Nosferatu from Robert Eggers, which I can't say is a close adaptation, but still arguably closer than most.
It's
Debatably,
hard to
because there
say
are
with
major
that
changes,
because it's technically adapting a ripoff.
right?
But it is my favorite Dracula movie, funnily enough.
It's really good.
Same.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
That is true, Slasher Fred. Mel Brooks did do spoofs of both Frankenstein and Dracula. I love Young Frankenstein. I think
I
that's one of his
forgot.
best. I've never seen his Dracula movie. I've heard it's not great, but I haven't
I,
seen it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about Dracula Dead and loving it. Ah, it's great. That's maybe my
It's
first.
pronounced Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's pronounced Frankenstein. Uh,
They're great.
I think Young Frankenstein's probably my third favorite Mel Brooks.
I do love this subplot though. This is one of my favorite sequences in the movie where we actually kind of slow down and get a
Mhm.
bit more quiet. I like this spirit of the forest angle, like this hideous monsters, like this guardian angel to this family. I think the sequence is great.
He just wants a family. He just
And
wants, you know, to be accepted.
And like I said, I don't like it. I don't mind his design. I think I like the coat a lot. I just think the yellow skin would have made it pop more, been closer to the book, and would have stood out. Yeah.
I was birthed by Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And then he
Well, and
regretted making me after that.
yeah, well, as we kind of hinted at during that sequence, this took a very literal approach in Frankenstein birthing this creature with how they went about that. Friend,
Now he's
new
learning
dumb
English.
friends.
New dumb friends.
Why didn't Stallone play the monster? That would have been great.
Honestly, I think I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, I'm the law. Yeah, I hope we get that. That's just perfect casting. Family.
Yeah, I was impressed by his vocal performance in that show.
Yeah,
I think part of it was because I just watched the 2019 Hellboy movie for a second time before that show. Yeah, Great's putting it strongly. But I kind of expected. Well, I kind of expected him to be characterized and like kind of act like how Hellboy acts in that movie, because like they described how he's just like a big baby in Creature Commandos, but it was much more of a darker but still very comedic
yeah.
take in that show.
Yeah, I don't blame David Harbour for how his Hellboy movie turned out. I think that's great casting in theory. The issue is more the script and direction, where that's just the wrong take on a character.
Yeah, no, I mean I think he's good for what that movie is. It's just kind of like R-rated Del Toro movie with
But more juvenile.
but with like some more horror-y aesthetic, but it's not really more of a horror Hellboy movie. Yeah.
Now we've become monsters.
Well, that's the thing is ever like well that's the Frankenstein because Frankenstein isn't actually the monster in this story, but he is a monster.
Yeah, that's certainly the angle that the Universal movies lean into, of making the creature more sympathetic and innocent, and
Yeah.
the all the people being monsters. I know in the book and in this version, it's a bit more gray because the creature does do some
Yeah.
fucked up shit.
No,
He's
he's more
not
of a
totally
villain.
good.
Yeah. The Universal movies really lean more into like he's the misunderstood tragic figure.
Hmm.
Um, it's still
Yeah, and I
tragic
think
in this, but it's more, like you said, he does some bad things later.
yeah, and of course we'll get to it when we get to it. I think this movie tries to do both, and it doesn't always gel for me.
Okay. Who's this asshole?
Also, that is the worst snowman I've ever seen. This family sucks. Oh shit.
Oh fuck.
His final thoughts were, "Is that Robert De Niro?" Ah.
Thank you for killing my landlord.
I'm just an old man.
I think we can all agree though that the best blind man scene is the one in Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. With Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman is the blind man, yeah.
No, oh my god, he's saying the theme of the movie. A man shouldn't have to hide in the shadows. Batman does.
Is this movie explaining itself?
Yeah. Like I said, De Niro's such a weird choice, but I do think he really captures the sensitive, tragic side of the character. I think he does sell these scenes.
Yeah, and I mean, De Niro is a great actor, so as weird as the casting is, it's like, well, he's still probably gonna do a good job. I'm liking him so far in this.
This fucking kid, idiot, is gonna get the creature in trouble.
This dumb kid.
I have no friends. Hmm? Yeah, I did get some of those vibes when I was watching it. But that Frankenstein monster is very big and theatrical and more eloquent. He also kicks ass. Oh god. Now that's like the worst, just I'm just a handsome tortured soul with a couple scars. I'm so sad over how handsome I am. It's a curse.
That guy
That guy
was in The
deserved
Dark
better.
Knight. We need to do I Frankenstein on the channel, though. Oh, good. Oh, God.
Oh, we've all been there, buddy. You know when you're just in a
Oh,
stranger's home talking to their old blind father and then their family barges in on you and kicks you out? Sucks when that happens.
yeah.
Now,
I,
this
s-
is
I still have the marks from the cane.
now, this is one of those sequences that plays a little rushed to me because I think in the book, like they kick him out and yell at him and banish him, and then he comes out, and like the next day they moved out. And here it looks like they've all left in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're immediately like, we have to leave.
That's weird, big scarred man. I don't know. I just feel like there's something missing because this is the moment when he's gonna say "fuck humanity." I'm
It's
going
very
for
rushed.
revenge.
Yeah, I guess there's just some elements of this movie that are rushed.
Oh my god!
What's he doing?
Stop it! Just get some help.
Get some help.
Frankenstein. It's even the journal, John. Are you watching the movie?
He says, Khan.
And now he's walking to Mordor. just walking.
Then the movie would be over sooner. That
And
poor
this
kid.
is. Oh, sorry, go on. Mhm.
Bride of Chucky.
Yeah. But and this is it seems like this where I feel like I'm missing something with this family because earlier we were talking about like, oh yeah, these two are raised as siblings and that's kind of weird. What are they gonna think? And now it's like, oh, we're not talking about that. We're getting married and everyone's cool with it. Like, I just feel like I'm missing something. No, their romance was set up. I'm saying like the weird familial relationship of it, and like, what's their family gonna think? I guess they're cool with it. Mhm. Stop drawing attention to it. Yeah. Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
It's that fucking kid.
That fucking Frankenstein. All right, I'll tell you something, monster. Not everyone, and I mean this. Not everyone is awful.
And like this is another sequence where it's like, oh, missing child, running, screaming. Okay, that escalated quickly. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, and in case you forgot, the kid that's missing is Frankenstein's little brother.
Little brother, yeah.
But then there's blonde lady friend who's looking for him, and that's gonna be important. Oh no! Ugh. And now she's just
Whoa.
in this barn. I don't know, like, no, do you see what I mean though? How some scenes just escalate so quickly.
I think
Oh yeah.
I think you're right, but because of how over the top this movie is, I'm fine with it. Or just like I think I've just come to expect that that's how certain moments are gonna play out.
Oh my god. She found the child. No.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's a lot of screaming in this movie.
There is. And I think I went in expecting that, so it's like
Oh, totally.
I'm I'm fine. That's what I mean. Where it's like when some of the things from the book are a little bit like truncated or like built up too quickly,
Mhm.
and like a lot of it is just like the dramatic moments are just like people screaming. It's like I don't know. I kind of figured that's what this movie would be like, so it's like
Mhm.
it doesn't surprise me too much.
Yeah, I just wish I got to know these characters better. Like his
Sure.
father's
Yeah.
barely been in it, and I feel like they could have more scenes together.
It'd be interesting to compare it to something like that miniseries, which has more time to like flesh out stuff
Mhm.
like that.
this family is just so big. I have trouble keeping track of like who's related and who just works here, who's just a friend, who is a adopted raised sister now lover. Like there's a lot going on. This family. It's really weird.
Oh,
Is that the Dune guy?
I haven't seen that either. Okay.
Yeah.
Miniseries actor. The
Hallmark was
Frankenstein?
different. Yeah. Hallmark was
Oh,
different 20 years ago, I guess. It got good reviews. Okay, and now, if you missed it, blonde lady off screen was found in the barn with the locket. So the
yeah.
townspeople are like, "She's the fucking murderer. We're gonna fucking," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like this happened so quickly.
That was on screen though, wasn't it?
Well, we saw her in the barn, and the monster give her the locket, but off screen somebody finds her and arrests her, and now we're here.
Oh yeah. Well, at least it was set up.
Yeah, and this is where I'm like, oh, I wish I got to know this character more because this
Yeah.
is fucked up, and she's barely been in the movie, and now, oh god,
Oh God, yeah.
uh, oh, I give that landing a 10.
Let's see. Oh
Just throw
Jesus.
shit out. No,
Actually, yeah, no, that went from 0 to 100.
right? You see what I'm saying? I'm not the crazy one.
Uh, too soon, John. Too soon.
Oh my god.
He's like, "Yo,
Me-
it's me."
So, meet me at the Sea of Ice. That's a mountain, you idiot. Point.
Yeah, I'm surprised that.
It's a mountain. Fucking idiot.
So we're just now getting to the mountain scene.
Thanks for the recommendation, Slasher Fred. He just said that there's a movie called Gothic that's sort of a biopic on what inspired Mary Shelley to write this story. I haven't heard of that. I should check that out. I know there was recently a Mary Shelley biopic movie that I heard wasn't great. But mhm.
I
Oh
remember the
yeah,
Tolkien one, yeah.
with Lex Luthor. No, Ewan McGregor was older Christopher Robin in that Christopher
Yeah.
Robin movie, and then but there was another movie around the same time that was about the author with uh Donald Gleason, I think. I heard it was just sad. I mean,
Absolutely.
what is? Oh my god! Get away from me!
Whoa.
Whoa! Then
You
wee! This looks so much fun.
want to get pushed around by the monster? Uh, I just got
The
to the
big
ice
snipe.
slide.
Wee! I regret everything.
This movie's
But
crazy.
this is probably my favorite. This is probably my favorite set in the movie. This set is awesome.
Well, now we're in the Penguin's lair from Batman Returns.
That's a good one too. I thought that it had a very old Hollywood flavor.
Okay, so in this movie, he just has a hideout in the mountain.
Yeah.
That's weird.
This is a major area where I know this scene was heavily reshot, and I kind of prefer what they originally did because the original take was when Frankenstein asks about the creature killing his brother. His original response was like, "Do you think it brought me pleasure watching him die," or something like that? And I think in the original implication, at least in the script, when he puts the locket on the girl, it was meant as like a nice gesture, but then in this cut, what we're left with, the implication is more like he framed her and wanted her killed, which I don't know, just feels weirdly intricate and not how he'd go about this. I don't know.
It does feel something like that the book monster would do, though, because in that he's kind of I don't know if he's that intricate about it, but he basically wants to, kill Victor's family and make him suffer as much as he's suffering.
Which, and there is a little bit of that. But I do love this scene though when he talks about like, am I learning things or are these just other memories like from these hands, this head? Like it's this stuff I think is great.
Yeah.
The Elephant Man's great. Mm. Mm. Well, even the Elephant Man, though, particularly with the Universal version, like there is a Universal aesthetic and flair he was
Yeah.
definitely going for with it being in black and white. It has a very old Hollywood look to
You gotta watch it. It was produced by Mel Brooks, speaking of him.
it.
That's fascinating.
It's absolutely
Fascinating.
fascinating.
Yeah, and I don't know. Moments like this are weird where the creature's like, "You think I'm evil?" It's like, "Yeah, you killed my fucking brother. I'm not your biggest fan right now, my guy."
I do believe that he believes he's not evil, though.
Well, I like that line. One thing I will fight you on with that take, that the alternate take we got. I like that line is like, you gave me these emotions, but like you didn't teach me how to regulate them or control
Yes.
them.
Yeah, it is partially a story about negligence and a father who abandons his child. You know that is a major part of the story.
He's abandoned his child. Daniel Day-Lewis could have been a good Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah.
My boy.
I've abandoned my boy.
But this is the scene though with the proposition of the creature saying, "Hey, make me a wife, and then we'll fuck off and do our own thing."
Slasher Fred Robert De Niro was in a remake of a classic Universal movie, Cape Fear.
That's true.
I'm sure
Cape
that's
Oh,
Fear is
true. I
great.
haven't
yeah.
seen either one.
Cape Fear is
This
awesome. You should
this
cover that
might
on the
be
channel.
this might be a hot take. I'm not a big fan of the Cape Fear remake with De
Oh,
Niro.
okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to
Prairie
rewatch it
Noah
though.
strikes again.
That's one of my least favorite Scorsese movies I've seen.
Oh well, no wonder it's bad.
John, have you seen Wolf of Wall Street, John?
The
It's great.
only Scorsese movie I've seen is Goodfellas.
Oh, that was your
Which
first.
is great.
That was my first.
Okay. No,
And
okay.
it was
No,
mid.
it occurred to me somewhat recently that that was not the movie I should have recommended to you. It should have been Wolf of Wall Street. I think you would like that movie.
I do want to see that. The clips I've seen look pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
no.
great.
That's a more entertaining movie than Goodfellas.
Actually, I think that's
Well,
the only
depending on the
Scorsese.
person.
Because Coppola does Godfather, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do kind of want to see that Jesus movie that he made, just to see Willem Dafoe as Jesus.
I still
Oh,
got to
it's
see that.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Last Temptation of Christ. It's really good.
Well, and he has a lot of non-mob mafia movies. If that's not your thing.
Oh yeah, like
No, so to clarify
Fountain
for people
is great.
watching, I don't actually have anything against Scorsese. I just like pissing off people that
He
treat him
likes
like
getting
he's-
a reaction out of me.
I just like pissing people off who act like Martin Scorsese can do no wrong and is the father of the modern movie.
He is one of my favorite directors.
He does make good movies.
He
I
makes
do
the
want to
best
see
films.
Shutter Island as well. That looked like something I would enjoy.
That's one I still haven't seen actually.
Yeah,
What kind of
Scorsese did
Scorsese
dabble in
fan are you?
the horror picture.
Horror picture.
Noah, are you
Yeah,
going to
with that
join
and
us
Cape Fear.
next? Are you going to join us next Friday for what we're doing then?
Are you doing My Bloody Valentine next week?
No.
What are you doing next week?
Doom.
Doom.
I'll get back to you on that.
But no, it's peak. Better than Goodfellas.
I don't even say
Oh
that.
God. Don't you can't say that. We're gonna lose all our subscribers.
Oh.
But back to this movie.
That they're gonna make The Wife.
I really like Helena Bonham Carter in this movie. I think she's pretty good.
Yeah, she's really known for playing, like quirky, weird characters, but she plays this part pretty straight, and I do like her in it.
Yeah. I really wish she'd gotten more to do in Harry Potter because they cut like a good chunk of Bellatrix's stuff.
But now this subplot is cut down a lot, and I don't know if what they originally shot is closer to the book, but so he brought back the friend who was hanged, and is like, I want her to be my brother. This is when it's going too far, and Frankenstein says no. With what they originally shot, he reluctantly keeps going. This was a much longer subplot, and then the creature kills a woman, like a prostitute, and brings her to him for extra parts. And Frankenstein can tell, oh, this isn't grave robbery anymore. Like, this is somebody you murdered. Like, that's then the line that goes too far, and he stops. It's just, with what we're given, it's really weird that in the span of like 2 minutes, we get Frankenstein pulling out all his equipment, ready to do this, and oh
Yeah.
shit, you brought me back my friend. Okay, never mind. Well,
Never
again,
mind.
it just goes like so quick. And what
Okay.
they originally shot really kind of drew that out.
For some reason, I thought The Bride was in this movie, but
I don't know.
okay.
remember.
We'll see.
We'll see. This is your live reaction.
Live
And what's
no
up with her
reaction.
hair? And why does he look like Jesus? Is
Well,
that shot
do-
symbolic?
Do you get it? The cross in the background?
Ah, we're doing something.
And people complain about Zack Snyder.
Well, we haven't gotten to this scene yet where for 10 minutes Robert De Niro has his arms out in front of the sun.
That iconic scene.
When Frankenstein's monster flies. It's really a bold choice. But
They fly now?
They fly now.
Oh, there's also that Frankenstein movie with Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh,
Yeah,
Victor Frankenstein. Yeah.
with James McAvoy.
I kind of want to see that just for who's in it, but I don't. Nobody talks about it. It just kind of came and went.
That movie I know was like reshot and re-edited to hell, and then was just dumped by this. It's one of those studio movies.
It's Professor Xavier and Harry Potter.
Yeah, which is funny. We've been talking over his performance a lot. Just there are moments in this movie where, for some reason, with Kenneth Branagh, I was thinking of McAvoy and kind of picturing McAvoy in this Dr. Frankenstein role, and I was like,
That's
oh
good
yeah, you did do
casting.
that.
That is good
Like
casting.
that is good casting.
I don't know about Radcliffe as Igor, but
He could have just been Henry at that point. Just stick close.
no, we
Okay.
gotta. But you don't remember Henry. You remember Igor.
I just like the idea of giving Igor a big role in a movie at all. To the
Let
point
alone
where you
casting
cast,
someone at the time who was like one of the most popular.
yeah, it was just Harry Potter. I guess there is an Igor movie, an animated movie.
Yeah, I saw
That's
that.
a
I don't remember it
comedy.
that well. Yeah.
Well, and I remember Victor Frankenstein being kind of pitched as like focusing on Igor.
I think that was the original plan. Whereas like
That
more of a
was supposed to
perspective.
also be, I think, the second attempt at a dark universe.
Yeah, though it may have been a different studio. I'm not sure. Anyway, they're getting married.
They are, because there was
Marriage.
Dracula Untold was the first attempt, and I thought that movie was okay. I don't remember it now, but at
I
the
haven't
time
seen
I
it.
was like, it was okay. Then there was that. I think, and then it was the Mummy, and then that was where that all just fell
Oh, yeah.
apart.
So the blocking of this scene is so weird with their wedding, where his father's just awkwardly sitting there in the bed, just
Yeah.
watching. It's like, oh, his father's bedridden now. Okay, I guess that makes sense since his son died. But again, I feel like there's pieces missing when you get to moments like that. Like, oh, I guess his father's bedridden. All right.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Frankenstein's story is still coherent enough that I don't.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me, but it is an issue.
I can just feel when I seems like pieces are missing, and oh, now his dad's dead. That's the
Slasher's
monster killed.
Fred. Did you know that there were some versions of the original Frankenstein, which is edited out the I know what it means to be God and Maria's death? Didn't we talk about that?
We've talked about that. That was in the original cut. Remember, Frankenstein was a pre-code movie, before ratings and all that. And there was a line where it's like, "And now I know what it means to be God." And
Yeah.
then in later re-releases, think 40s, 50s, parts like that were cut out because oh my god, this is so offensive
That was a controversial line.
and
It's
controversial.
hysterical.
And so footage like that was missing for decades, and then was finally restored. So once the movie makes it to like home video, in like the 80s to now, that stuff's all been put back in. So if you've seen Frankenstein, you've seen the
Well,
whole
and that line I feel like is one
um,
of those that gets quoted a lot. Like
it
that's
does.
all over Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. It's just weird to think that for like 30 or 40 years that was just not in the movie.
Well,
For a whole
that's why I always
previous
find
generation.
like people getting upset about stuff that's in movies funny because like yeah, but also I don't know. 50 years ago, you couldn't have a toilet in a movie.
Yeah. Standards change.
You couldn't have a flushing toilet.
And oh my god, is the camera gonna spin for their wedding night? It's spinning.
That's a good trick.
No, Noah.
Neat trick, Noah.
I refuse to
That
believe
line's
this.
so weird. Brother and sister no more. Now husband and wife. It's like, yeah, stop it.
Why?
Oh,
Stop. Get help.
I forgot about that line. Oh my! Why is this so like incestuous?
Weird.
Like,
oh, now they're going at it.
And the camera's spinning.
Noah, do you like the spinning?
The scene is just weird now.
No, they ruined it with
It's
that
just
line.
Yeah, it's kind of their
It's
thing.
the slow spinning.
I mean, I'm aware that that was probably common in this time. I think. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. My basis is Game of Thrones. It's funny how like that in media is something that we've kind of become okay with because nobody cared that it's a Game of Thrones.
How long do you want to stay on this train, John? Are you
Um,
ready to change subject?
we don't have anything else to talk about. It's still going.
Oh fuck!
So,
Here's the music.
what do you think of the music in this movie?
I like the score. It's very big,
Yes.
and sometimes I think they could dial it back,
For this movie,
but I do like it.
Not for this movie.
I like how
It
Robert's like
fits.
this movie that is at an 11 at all times needs to tone down the score.
I mean, it's part of it. Oh my god!
Wait, what?
He was watching them? Oh
Yeah.
god.
That's yeah, it's a lot to unpack there.
I heard the brother and sister line, okay? That's not okay.
Well, no, that's even weirder because if that's his father, this is his
Oh
stepmother.
no!
Oh fuck! It's gonna get all Sigmund Freud up in here. Shit.
No, I think there might be something wrong with the screenwriters of this movie.
Oh.
They are going off a book.
Wait, what?
What the fuck?
Oh,
Oh,
That's should be fine.
he's got her heart.
Oh Jesus. Oh
oh
this
God.
Whee.
Oh shit, she's on fire. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude.
Ah shit, dude. Yeah, in the book I think the creature just strangles her. And in the movie they're like, how do we
That
punch
was
him
just
out?
really awkwardly edited. At first, I didn't know what was happening. He just kind of
Yeah,
like
he
goes
ripped out
like
her heart.
this.
Yeah, no, she's fine. Just
A little
gotta,
crispy.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you can survive without your heart in your body. I think.
That's what they say.
Is that what they say? I think she's fine. This shot's awesome of them going up the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is that staircase is too similar to the Universal Dracula for me to not think that
Oh yeah.
somebody was looking at that.
No, like still there are some really gorgeous shots in this movie.
What
It's a
if
good
as they're
thing
going
that
up the stairs, the camera started spinning?
it's a good thing that Branagh didn't trip on that robe while he was walking up the stairs.
Yeah, why is there no blooper
Yeah.
reel? Come on.
Right? Oh god. Yeah, now we're gonna go full reanimator.
Oh wait, so she's the bride?
Oh my god. What?
What? Oh, she's the bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, now you get it.
Oh. So this is not in the book.
Nope.
I'm guessing this is the moment people are talking about. We're like, oh, this just completely
Yeah,
goes
well,
off.
because I knew that the bride was in this movie, but I didn't know it was Helen Bonham Carter.
No, this caught me off guard because I didn't know if the bride was in the book or even going to be in the movie. But then I was like, oh, I don't know how you feel about this note because you're a fan of the book. I like this choice.
I'm gonna have to see how the rest of it plays.
I think it's kind of an inspired edition that I wouldn't mind seeing in more adaptations because in the as far as I know, in the book, Frankenstein's his wife dies after refusing to create the creature's bait, So all
Yeah.
that's from the book, but then just expanding on that and going, yeah, but then what if he just brought his wife back and then she became the bride of Frankenstein? I think that's a good choice. I like it.
And I mean, if you're gonna get Helena Bonham Carter for this movie, you gotta.
Right? It seems
You
it's
got to
really
make her a
obvious.
monster.
It's just and okay now obviously we've been talking over this whole thing. In this cut of the movie, it doesn't seem like Henry knows much of what Victor's been doing, but now he does. There's a lot missing with him and Henry and how much he knows what's going on.
Release the Branagh cut. I'm
I'd
sure
watch
Arrow
it. I'd
didn't
be down
do
for it.
anything with that.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
surprised
also
there's no
talking this is
deleted
an Arrow
scenes.
release and not like a Screen Factory.
Right? Oh god.
I don't know
This-
why, but there's something really funny about the way he was doing that.
He's just slapping her.
we need the 10-minute scene of them slipping and sliding around.
I'd watch
They
that.
cut it. Those bastards.
I don't like the way John just said I'd watch that.
I'd buy that for $1.
Hey, Robert was the one that was all over the two guys slipping and sliding.
It went on so long. Oh
That's just
god.
because it was funny.
This I love the mood here, and I like this direction. It's like this is probably a mistake. This is probably a bad idea, dude.
No, I love at the end of the day, this guy hasn't learned anything.
Nope.
We're spinning again,
Yeah. So
slowly.
and it's Elizabeth's head on the other girl's body. It would have been really funny if they had more foreshadowing to that, like with the love triangle thing, where it's like, oh, there's these things he favors in one girl over the other, and now he gets the best of both worlds. I think that's great.
That's fucked up, dude.
She's oh, this is gonna work, dude.
Yeah.
But it's true love, even with that hideous face scar. And
So I actually
camera's
do.
turning.
I think I do like this as an idea. It's just I don't think. I think at this point it was a mistake to advertise this as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
I
But
mean,
it's fine. Like,
I think it's as close to the book as the '90s Dracula is.
this is the point
Arguably
where it
more so,
veers off,
It's
though.
fine. Yeah. I think it's fine.
No, I'm fine with it. I am fine with it. At the end of the day, it's just like I can see why hardcore book fans would not like this movie.
And they're dancing again, but
Stop
now
dancing.
it's sad.
I'm okay with it because at the end of the day, you know, all the adaptations they're just adaptations. They can change stuff if it makes
There's
sense.
Frankenstein from like 2004.
This is
Yeah,
weird.
that's the one we were talking about. I think.
No, not the
Is that the
miniseries. This is directed by Marcus Nispel, who, if you don't recognize
Oh.
that name, did Texas Chainsaw and Friday remakes. And apparently, it's a failed TV pilot turned movie.
Oh god.
Frankenstein becoming a 7 serial killer.
Why was that the thing in the 2000s? There was also that Carrie TV pilot movie that was supposed to launch a whole show. They said, "Fuck it, just put it out as."
And he's being chased by Parker Posey and Adam Goldberg.
Oh god.
And it's executive produced by Martin Scorsese.
Hell yeah.
John, are you making this up?
No, dude, it's the same year. What was it? Oh my god, Frankenstein. That Frankenstein, the miniseries, and Van Helsing all came out in 2004.
Here,
What was in the water that year?
There's the letterbox page.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's real.
I
No,
don't want
it's
to.
because
I don't want to see this.
no, it's because everything you just said sounds like a joke.
Sounds insane. Oh god. Yeah, but when you said 2004, I got confused because I'm like, that's when the miniseries came out, and Van Helsing.
It was the height of Frankenstein mania, I guess.
And then
That
apparently
no
there's
one
also
remembers.
a Frankenstein movie from 2015, but that one
There's a lot.
has the monster created by a husband and wife team,
Oh.
But,
and it's
yeah.
oh god, it's Danny Houston and Carrie Ann Moss.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard of
I'm
it.
sure that's
Weird.
good.
Um, this scene's kind of an interesting. It's kind of an inversion of the iconic movie scene where the bride is born and like she screams because she's scared of the monster. Here, she's not frightened of him, but she's frightened of herself because she starts like touching her face. She's like, "Oh my god, the fuck am I? I don't like this." Oh god. And then seeing these two guys fight over her, I just want to see them rip her in half. Like, here, you keep your half, I'll keep mine. Because this is just a bad situation for everybody.
Slasher, yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I think all three of us are fans of Reanimator.
Yeah, I like Reanimator.
I can never remember if Robert's seen it or not.
Oh yeah, I've seen Reanimator.
Holy shit.
Oh my god, yeah, yeah. It's kind of a cool riff on that movie scene where she freaks out. But here, like, if we were to remake,
Oh
like,
my
Bride
god,
of
the whole
Frankenstein,
building's catching on fire.
yeah, it's so over the top. I like this choice though of her taking herself out. Like, fuck this, I don't want to live. But it's just so like, oh my god, everything's on fire. Was this house made of gasoline? How did this fire
Gasoline.
escalate so quickly?
Gasoline. It's raining
It's
gasoline.
fine. It's a movie. It's fine. It's a movie.
No, I mean, I'm kind of with the tone, like,
I think that's one
everything
thing I
being
like
at
about this
11.
movie is it's not. Nowadays, we're so worried about like plot holes and like how this is ridiculous. This movie just fucking goes for it.
Oh
Yeah.
And now we just hard cut from that to the Arctic, and I'm like, okay, there is something missing from. But it's like, you get the gist.
They basically hit all the beats of the book.
Yeah.
We got to get back to this stuff.
Yeah, off screen, he's been chasing the creature around the world. Is what we get in the exposition.
Now he just wants to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just relatable. I also just want to sleep.
Same.
And that was Dr. Frankenstein's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad life choices.
Year. Actually,
Yes.
many years.
So I'm having kind of a similar experience where I do really like this movie. I still like the Universal one better.
I think this might be my third favorite Frankenstein movie.
I'm with you there, but I've only seen
What?
three.
I think
But...
those might be the only ones I've seen. Actually, now that I
Well,
think about
You've
it.
seen Van Helsing, right?
I haven't seen Van Helsing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we
I
gotta
gotta.
make Noah watch Van Helsing on the channel.
Are you
Yeah,
guys
we
doing
do.
that movie sometime soon?
Eventually.
Now we
Okay.
are.
Probably not soon. Yeah.
I didn't know you hadn't seen it.
What? I didn't see it.
We'll have to figure out a time, but yeah.
every time we cut back to the screw, like all covered in frost, I just want to hard cut to like the Mr. Freeze gang and Batman and Robin. Whoever's got like a frozen
Sing!
TV dinner.
Dang.
I would probably put this about on par with the Hammer one. Maybe I'd have to rewatch that one, but like I like all three Frankenstein adaptations that I've seen.
I can't even remember if I've seen the Hammer version.
You don't remember Peter Cushing?
Or actually, no. Maybe I have seen that.
And this is one of those scenes where I am conflicted because I like it and I think it is sticking to the book with the monster being sad that his creator's dead. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. Um, but his performance is great.
Guys, I want to burst your bubble here, but we are looking at a Dutch angle right now.
it's because the ship's tilted.
It's a Dutch angle.
Dude, get over it. Stop crying.
Death happens. Just move on.
Yeah, and there is a theme throughout this whole movie I like of Dr. Frankenstein just being surrounded by death, watching his family members getting taken out one by one. I do like that idea. And now it's like, oh well, didn't end well for him. But one thing probably should mention before we wrap this up. This was written by Frank Darabont. Wrote this script.
Oh.
I'm really curious what this would have looked like if he directed it, because he hated this movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He did not like the way he felt his script was chopped up and directed.
As much as
I'm
I
really
like this
curious what
movie,
would
now
be.
I'm kind of disappointed because I really want to see what that looks like.
He was probably just busy with one of his other 90s movies, because that was kind of the
Oh,
height.
I
We
know.
lost to Noah. Oh shit. He was like, Frank Darabont, I'm out. I do like this movie, but I want a longer cut of it. And I wonder if that would have been closer to his vision.
Noah, you good?
He'll be fine. I've got some chemicals and lightning in the back. But he'll bounce back in no time.
Noah is Frankenstein's monster.
Oh
He's
my god,
back.
he's back.
Oh god.
Oh no.
What is
It's
happening?
scary. It's scary.
What the fuck is he doing?
He's freaking out. He's gone mad like Frankenstein himself.
I don't know what was happening. No, I just had to get up to go change something, but my camera kept flickering on and off for some reason.
You're gonna miss the end of the movie.
I'm watching it. I'm watching it.
Oh, don't put the fire there. Oh. Idiot. Well.
Well,
Yep, that's me. Probably wondering how I got here. A tale of woe.
The captain's like, that just happened.
Well, that just happened. But he's worked past his madness, his obsession, where he's learned from this experience and is applying it and saying, "Okay, fuck glory. I'm just gonna go home. I don't want to die."
Good choice.
so Noah, how do you feel about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
I actually really enjoyed it. I thought I'd be more okay or just like middling on it, but no, I
It's
actually
a
really
good
dug it.
motion picture.
Yeah, it's a good motion picture. I think the key to enjoying this movie is if you're like a massive fan of Mary Shelley's book, is to not expect this to be a one-for-one adaptation or even like anything like tonally on that level.
I think that
Yeah.
was just the tone of it.
Yeah, this is a more, over the top theatrical movie, which I'm fine with. And as I said before, I don't see that tone in the original book, but as a piece, I like it in this movie.
And it was produced by Francis Ford Coppola and Fred Fox.
Fred Fox.
All right. Well, that has been our commentary of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Noah, as always, it's been a pleasure doing the commentary with you. We're always happy to have you on the channel.
Yeah.
If you're watching this after the fact, please consider hitting that like and subscribe. And we will see you guys on the next video.